So the reason why is because sometimes they give you the area and they want to know the radius. Sometimes they give you the area and they want you to find diameter. Sometimes they give you the area and they want you to find the circumference. What I did was I set it up for all three. So
Yeah.
I'll show you how to solve all three. So what I'll do is I'll do one of each, and you'll see how it's set up. And it's not hard. If you went through the ebook, I'll give you nice formulas because these are questions. Again, one of the most missed questions, if you look, find the radius or diameter of a circle when given the area circumference. Is one of the most missed questions. So this is why I included in the ebook. And I gave you a formula that's not on your formula sheet, but it's an easy way for you to know it. So how you doing, Lakeisha, Evelyn, and whose iPad? Who do we have? Whose iPad?
It's me. Hi, hi, Mr. Tansley. This is Fariha.
How you doing? Can you rename yourself? Can you rename yourself for me?
I was with you yesterday in the Zoom.
Right, I know.
Oh, I know I had to ask you again. On your Schoology, is there one that we can do that don't time us?
So
I run out of time, and I hate that I run out of time. I need to write stuff down and do it.
So the purpose of timing you is you should be able to do it in a certain amount of time. So instead of taking the practice GED, that's time, take the smaller quizzes until you got the concept down. Then take the practice GED that times you, because that's what's going to be part of it. All right, so let's do two examples. Let's do example if you're given the area, an example if you're given the circumference real quick. Now I did do this already, but we'll go over it again since you had some questions. So here, if you're given the area, let's do 706.5. Okay, so let me go to a blank sheet. You're given the area 700. Where's my blank sheet? Oh, let me open up my blank sheet. Hold on.
So is this going to be a square, rectangle, triangular, circle, trapezoid? Which one? So I can put in the.
You tell me. What did you ask me? What does circumference have to do with? Circumference only has to do with what type of shape?
Circle.
Circle. All right. So what we're going to do is if you're given the area or circumference, so 706.5 is the area. So first of all, you're given the area, 706.5, and I don't know if it says centimeters squared or feet squared or inches squared. It don't matter. But so what I tell you to every problem, what I want you to do is identify your givens. So they gave you the area. The second thing you're going to do is once you know the two things, so we know it's a circle, and we know they gave us the area of a circle, right? So now you go to your formula sheet. What is the area of a circle?
A equal pi r squared.
Area equal pi r squared. Okay. Now, if you notice, this is one of the concepts you should know in algebra. If you don't know, you need to practice until you can change or you can modify an equation to solve for any variable in that equation. So here, what we have to do is, we know what the area is, 706.5. But right now, what I want to do is I just want to work with this formula. And I want to get R all by itself. So if I want to get R all by itself, what would I do? What do I need to get rid of? If I wanted to get R all by itself.
Divided?
Divided by what?
The area divided by 2.
Nope. So remember, my formula is A equal pi r squared. So once you look at that right side, if I want to get the R by itself, there's only two things on that right side. There's pi and there's R squared.
You have to get rid of the pi.
Got to get rid of the pi. Okay, that's how you look at it, no matter what the equation is. Okay, you're asking yourself, in order to get R by itself, I need to get rid of pi. Hold on for 1 second. Yes, sir. Yes, I'm logged in. You have to use the GED Math Monday link. I'm gonna send it to you again. Hold on for 1 second. I'm sorry. That's back. Somebody sent me a text, and then somebody sent me just called, and they said they can't use the link. So I'm gonna send it again. Hold on. I'm sorry, let me pause the recording for right now. So area equal pi r squared. So Darlene said, if we want to get the r by itself, we need to get rid of the pi. So how are we going to get rid of the pi? What did you say, Darlene? Okay, she went on mute. So what she said, we need to divide by pi. Remember, now does everyone know why you have to divide by pi? Does anybody not know why you have to divide by pi? Okay, the reason why you divide by pi is because you want to do the opposite operation. So pi r squared means pi times r times r. So in order to get rid of the pi, you need to do the opposite operation of multiplication, which is division. Okay, so whatever you do to one side, remember, it's like a scale. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you must do on the other side. So as you're doing this work, you want to say that anything you do, if you subtract 5, divide by pi, multiply by 5, whatever you do on one side of the equation, you must do on the other. So on this side, I'm also going to divide by pi. I'm going to go to my next step. Area divided by pi is equal to, these pi's cancel, and you left with r squared. So now you have the equation, area divided by pi is equal r squared. So you're asking yourself, is r by itself? No, it is not. When I mean when r is by itself, yes, that's the only variable, but I mean r equal, x equal, t equal, not t squared, not r squared. R is not by itself. Does anybody know the inverse operation of squaring a number? Square root. So we take the square root of both sides. Remember, whatever we do to one side, we do on the other. Because they're inverse operations, they cancel each other out. So we're going to have r is equal to area divided by pi. So listen, I would write this down and I would commit it to memory. So if you're given the area of a circle, you want to use this equation to find the radius. Okay, I would listen, I would commit it to memory. You're going to have it. Either going to have area or circumference. It's almost a guaranteed problem, almost guaranteed. All right, so radius equal the square root of the area divided by pi. Do we know what the area is?
706.5.
706.5. Do we know what pi is?
3.14.
3.14. Now, I want you to put this in your calculator. The square root of 706.5 divided by 3.14 and tell me what you get. I'm not sure. I don't know what it is. Let me do it real quick. Let me get my calculator.
I got 15.
You got 15? Let me do it real quick. And I'm going to put it on the screen. Let me clear everything out and put everything on the screen so you can see it. So square root. Matter of fact, this is what I'll do. I'm going to save this and I'm going to clear it for a second. I'm going to clear it for a second, just so I can put the calculator on the screen, and then I'll bring it back. Okay? So I'm going to put the calculator on the screen because you need to be able to do this. I can't tell you 1,000 times this is your friend. If you learn how to use this calculator, I can almost guarantee you're going to pass this exam. Point blank. So in order to get the square root, you hit second, hit the x squared button. In order to do division, we're going to hit ND. We're going to put 706.5 divided by 3.14. Going to get out of your square root by hitting the right arrow. We'll get out of your fraction and n square root by hitting your right arrow 2 times. We're going to hit enter. That tells me, remember, that's solving for your radius. That's solving for my radius, right? So remember, r equal the square root of area divided by pi. Okay, we put that in the calculator. Our radius is 15. If our radius is 15, what's our diameter?
30.
30. How'd you get 30?
Multiply.
Multiplied it by 2. Why? Because the diameter is twice the radius. You have to be familiar with that relationship. So on your calculator, just hit times 2. Now we have our diameter. Okay. How do I find the circumference? If I know the diameter is 30,
D pi,
D times pi. What is pi again?
3.14.
Again, so since the diameter is still in our calculator, it's 30. We just did that calculation on our calculator. So now I just got to times it by 3.14. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. I gave it to you in your ebook where you can learn how to solve for the radius, find your diameter, and find your circumference, all given area. And it takes way less than a minute. But you have to be familiar with this formula. It is not on your formula sheet. So I would advise you to commit it to memory.
Hold on.
Radius equal the square root of the area divided by pi.
And I came at the end. So what you find is the circumference.
No, we found the radius. Then we multiply by 2 to get the diameter.
Right.
And then we multiply by 3.14 to get the circumference.
Right. But what's that? R equals pi.
What does R stand for?
Radius, but you got the pi.
Okay, hold on. What does radius stand for?
What the radius stand for?
No, what does R stand for?
The radius.
Radius. What does A stand for?
The area.
What does, and you know what pi is.
Right.
So all you're doing is substituting what you know. Again, that's the habit you got to understand. Once you get your formula from your formula sheet, you are now in this case, it's not, we didn't get this from our formula sheet. We
Right.
changed
What I'm
it.
saying, what formula is this for? What would I use this formula for?
You tell me, what is it solving for?
It's solving for area.
No, what does it say? What does the formula say?
R equals.
So what are we trying to find out if it says R equal square root of area divided by pi?
The area of a circle.
Okay, let me say this. Let me show you this. Let me erase this. I'm gonna move this and I'm gonna put a blank page up. If I got V equal pi R squared, what am I trying to find?
Oh, the volume.
The volume. If I got R equal the square root of area divided by pi, what am I trying to solve for?
The radius.
The radius. Again, that's what you have to understand. Whatever you're solving for is what you're trying to find. So it doesn't matter what the formula is. They could ask you for different parts of that formula. So in this case, on the formula sheet, it's area equal pi R squared. What I just showed a minute ago is how to change that formula to solve for the radius. Now, you can wait, you could do it yourself. You can go through it again, or you can commit this to memory because you're gonna see it. So if you're given the area of a circle, I want you to use this formula to find a radius. Because once you find a radius, you can find a diameter. Once you find a diameter, you can find a circumference.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying now. So if
Yeah, I
you
mean,
do the area of a circle, you can find. Okay.
right. Because why? What's one of the most missed questions? Again, this is important. One of the most missed questions: find the radius or diameter of a circle when given the area circumference. One of the most missed questions. I'm sorry, somebody asked a question. Hold on, I'm sorry, I missed that. Oh, no problem, I got you. Okay, so now let's look at another problem. That's given the area. Okay, if they give you the circumference, let's do number 9, 47.1. So always identify what you know. So they gave you the, let me change the red. They gave you the circumference. So this is your circumference. Can anybody tell me the formula for finding the circumference of a circle?
D pi, right?
C equal D pi.
Yeah.
C equal the diameter times pi. Now, how can I solve this? How can I change this formula to solve for the diameter? If I want to get D by itself, what would I do?
You want to get D by itself?
Mm-hmm.
You have to divide first.
Divide by what?
D pi.
By pi. By pi.
Okay, so listen to what I'm asking you. This is what you want to do. I need everybody to understand this. If you're trying to get D by itself, It's only two things on the right side of that equation, D and pi. If I want D by itself, I need to get rid of pi. It's
Right.
not D pi. If you get rid of D pi, you're going to cancel everything. You're not solving for D. Remember, whatever you're solving for, you're trying to get by itself. So since there's only two things there, you need to divide by pi. Those two pi's cancel, we get D is equal to the circumference
C.
divided by pi. Do we know what C is?
9.47.
1.
47.1. Do we know what pi is?
3.14.
3.14. Put that in your calculator. 47.1 divided by 3.14. Tell me what you get. Tell me what you get.
I got 15.
You got 15. You got 15 again. What's up with me with that 15? I don't know what I was doing with that 15. All right. So ND, 47.1. Hit your down arrow, divided by 3.14. So if my diameter is 15, now watch this. So we said, let me change the color here so we really understand. If my diameter is 15, what's my radius?
7.5
How did you get 7.5?
divided by 2.
Divided by 2, because you got to remember, the radius is half the diameter. So take our calculator, divide by 2. Okay, so we got the radius is 7.5. Now, how would I find, if I know my radius is 7.5, how would I find the area of this circle? What's the formula for area of a circle?
D pi r squared.
What is the formula? I don't want, if you don't know it, look at your formula sheet. What is the area for the area of a circle?
Pi r squared.
Pi r squared. Do we know what pi is?
3.14.
Do we know what r is?
7.5.
7.5, and we need to square it.
Right.
So again, understand that all we're doing is grabbing the formula and plugging in. So we're going to go to the calculator. Again, calculator's your friend. 3.14 in parentheses, 7.5 squared. Press enter. Now I got my area. So that's what you got. You have to get in the habit of working with problems, solving those problems using the formula sheet. So today, it's funny that Lakeisha asked for these types of problems because guess what I have ready for you? I'm gonna show you something. Guess what I have ready for you? I have volume problems. And what we're going to do tonight is identify the shape, identify the formula, identify your givens, plug them in to the formula. So let me increase the zoom real quick. For number one, does anybody know what that shape is?
Triangle.
No,
Pyramid.
pyramid. So you must know, everyone must know the three-dimensional shapes that are going to be on this exam. And they are pyramid, cone, rectangular prism, sphere, and cylinder. You must know all 5 of those shapes when you see them. So number 1 is a pyramid. Number 2 is a what?
Cone.
Cone. And we're not going to worry about number 3 because you don't have to, you're not responsible for this shape on your GED. So we're going to skip number 3. Okay, so we identified that number 1 is a pyramid. Did anybody else not know that was a pyramid? Okay, good. Can anybody tell me the formula for the volume of a pyramid?
Is it 1/3?
3
1/3
equal
base
1/3 BH.
in height?
Okay. Now,
SA,
also, so
SA.
this is what I want you to understand. I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna clear it for a second because this is very important for you to understand. And this calculator and this formula sheet are your friend. And when I mean when you practice, you should have both out. You should have scrap paper, your formula sheet, and your calculator every single time you study math, right? Because this is why. It's telling you what to do. So if we look at this second section, it says surface area and volume of A, and it has the shapes you need to be familiar with. A rectangular prism, a right prism, a cylinder, a pyramid, a cone, and a sphere. What shape are we looking for? What was that shape we were looking for?
Pyramid.
Pyramid.
A pyramid. So it says volume equal 1/3 capital B times H. Well, Mr. Tinsley, I don't ever remember you talking about a capital B. You had a lowercase b. What does a capital B mean? Look right here. It's telling you what the capital B means. It's telling you what a lowercase p is meant to tell you in these formulas. So a capital B tells you what?
Area?
The area
Perimeter.
of the base. The area of the base. So that's what we have to remember. So when we look at these, we want to go to our formula. So remember, we said this was a pyramid. We said the volume is 1/3 base times height. And we said the base, the capital B, is the area of the base. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now watch this. I don't need you working hard. This is why I made this ebook. I don't want you working hard, but you have to understand what's given. So if you look at this picture, what had they given us?
The base and the height.
They gave us the length and width of the base. So let me make sure, let me draw this here so we can see it nice and clear. The base of this shape is what shape?
Square.
A square. How do you find the area of a square?
4 times 4.
4 times 4. So length times width,
No,
which
it's
is 4
half.
times 4.
Oh, okay.
You should know that a square, is also a rectangle. And to find the area of a rectangle is length times width. The only difference is the square, both sides are equal. So this is why on your formula sheet, you will see S squared. Well, guess what? What's 4 squared equal to?
16. 16.
What's 4 times 4 equal to?
16.
They're the same thing. So watch this. So we know the area of the base, which is 16. Do we know the height?
Yes, it's 12.
Yes, well.
It's 12. Now, all I want you to do is be able to identify the shape, identify the formula, identify what's given, plug them in. Watch this. 1/3 times the area of the base, which is 4 squared, times
Or
the
8.
height, which is 12.
12. Estás a lot más.
Volume is 64. The volume is 64 inches squared. All area must be squared. So it's either inches squared or square inches all the time. Okay? That's what I want you to be able to do. It's not that hard. So what you're going to do is I'm going to send this worksheet to you. You have Schoology practice, you have CK12, you have Khan Academy if you want to do them online. But it's the same thing. You have to put the practice in. Watch this. So 64. I'm going to move this calculator out the screen. Let's look at number 2. What shape is number 2?
The cone.
It's a cone. It is a cone. What have they given us? What's given?
The base and the height.
Nope, they didn't give us the base and the height. They gave it the height. The height is what?
Radius.
The height is what?
11.
11.
11 inches, yeah.
11 inches. Okay.
And the radius.
Now, did they give us the radius?
Oh no, the
No,
diameter.
they give us
Diameter. How did you know that they gave us the diameter?
Because there is a line, a cut, all the circle between the circle.
Right. So it goes from one side through the center to the other side. That is the definition of your diameter. The radius is just from the center of the circle to any edge. You have to know the difference between radius and diameter. So if you go on Schoology, under circles, you'll see why I tell you just solving for radius. They give you radius, what's diameter? If they give you diameter, what's radius? Because you need to know it. Now, if I know my diameter is 4, what's my radius?
2 divided by 2 equals 2.
So the radius is half the diameter. Again, identify the shape, identify your givens, identify the formula. Now, I want you to go to your formula sheet and tell me the formula to find the volume of a cone.
It's 1/3 pi
R squared
H.
Now, all we doing is plugging in. So 1/3, do we know what pi is?
parentheses 3.14.
Why did you say parentheses, James?
That means to multiply.
Because the parentheses mean multiplication. So if you get in the habit of writing your formula, understanding your givens, substituting your givens into your formula, when you go put this in the calculator, it's going to take 15 seconds. So radius squared in parentheses, what's our radius?
Parentheses 2 squared.
2 squared. And what's the height?
It's 11.
11. So you go grab your calculator. You grab your calculator and you plug in exactly what you said. ND, 1/3. I'm gonna have to mute somebody because I hear myself talking. Parentheses, 3.14, close your parentheses, 2 squared times 11. Press enter. Our volume is equal to 46.05 inches cubed.
Oh, because it's in 3, right? It's in 3 dimension, right?
It's 3 dimensions. Remember, when we talked about area is squared. When we talk about volume, since we have 3 dimensions, it's to the 3rd power, or cubic inches. That's how you do the volume problem. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right here. Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna tell you something. They're either gonna ask you for volume straight out. So first, I want you to learn how to do the volume. So what I want you to do first is we're going to practice tonight. Oh, Chris is here. First of all, hold on. Let me pause for a second. Let me say this. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, Mr. Tinsley, how are you?
Tell the class the good news.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Oh, no.
Great. I passed my maths. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Lord, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there any advice that you would give to the class?
A lot.
Well, don't give me a lot. Just give us a couple.
Yeah. Please, class, please, everyone. I encourage you to listen to Mr. Tinsley. 1, please go to Schoology and do your tests. Do it. If you can do it daily, it will be better for you because the Schoology generates a new question anytime you log in. Then master your calculator. Like Mr. Tinsley always say, is your best friend. If you do all this and you practice and practice and practice, you will make it. master the calculator. Buy that ebook, study it. If you study the ebook and you master it with the calculator, I assure you, you will excel. Because Mr. Tinsley has made it very easy for you to look at the question and know the answer without even working.
Congratulations, bro.
He has taught us a lot of
let me say this. So 2 things I want to say. First of all, he used the word easy, and some people may be offended by that because math can be very difficult. But let me explain something to you. This young man, he also had issues with mathematics. The reason why he's saying it's easy now is because, first of all, what he did was he spent time in the ebook learning all those shortcuts. And by learning how to use the calculator for things that are more difficult, he diminished his time on certain questions. Not only did he finish the exam early, but he almost scored college ready on his exam.
That's good.
And Mr. Tinsley, why I didn't score more than college score was I didn't go to the Schoology and study and do the practice test. Remember, I did it only once and my computer shut down. I encourage everyone to do it every day if you have the time. Then you will see that you're going to excel easily. That's when I say easily. What I mean is that easily. And why I use the word easily now is that Mr. Tinsley has demystified mathematics. So if you are scared of mathematics before, or you had stories that mathematics is too hard and all that, come to this Monday classes, listen to Mr. Tinsley, study the ebook, then go to Schoology, do the practice test. I assure you, you will like mathematics.
And the
Like
last
I
thing,
love it.
and the last thing, so he said all that, but even after you buy the ebook, remember that last important step is having that one-on-one with me. So you can find the areas that you have your most weakness in, and then I can help you, get over those barriers because you're working one-on-one, and you're gonna gain a lot more. Even though you learn a lot in these Monday sessions, you're gonna learn a lot more in that one-on-one session.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody give Chris a hand.
Congratulations, bro.
Congratulations.
What is
All
most,
of you.
what is most topic in your exam, please?
Everything that Mr. Tinsley is telling you here comes out. Like what you are doing now, there's a cone, there's the pyramid that came out on there. There are these other things that come up. But what I will encourage you to do is please, please, please master the calculator. Is your friend.
Okay.
Yep. So, okay, thank you, Chris. Let's continue on. Again, listen, this is I take this personal. Once you log into my class, once you buy my ebook, if you work hard, I'm right there with you till you pass. Okay? I'm right there with you until you pass. So last week and this week, I seen so many people logging on Schoology. So first of all, that makes me feel good because it makes me understand that I didn't do this for nothing. I have a reason. God put me on this mission. I spend this time, but God put me on this mission. So I'm going to help you until you finish. As long as you working hard, I will help you until you pass. You don't have to worry about that.
Mr. Tinsley, I have to say this. Thank you very much for your time. And please, class, Mr. Tinsley is always available to answer your questions anytime, any day. So take the advantage of that and study and go to the Schoology, do your practice test. He's going to mark it the same day and show you the area you pass or give you the grade, and you work on the other ones that you didn't succeed, and you ask him questions. He's there. That is the advantage. Please help me say thank you to him for creating the time to be available.
Yeah, of course, Mr. Tinsley. Stop playing.
That's right. Stop playing. Listen.
That's
all right.
My man.
Let's move on to the next one. Listen, I want each and every, I feel like I'm a failure if each and every person that I help don't pass.
We're gonna
So
pass,
you
man.
listen, that's right. You gonna pass. I'm telling you, and I'm gonna tell you whether I think you ready too. Okay. All right. So let's go to this next one. Number 4. Okay. First of all, what shape is this? What 3-dimensional shape is this?
Cylinder.
Cylinder.
Cylinder. Yeah, I
Cylinder.
thought it was
Mama,
a
don't
cylinder.
do that.
What is the formula for the volume of a cylinder?
E equal
Pi
pi
r
r
square
r
8.
square h.
Okay. Remember, listen, I'm giving you the steps. Identify the shape, identify your formula, identify your givens. What's given in this diagram?
The diameter,
The diameter. So
height-
your diameter is
The
what?
height is
8
8.
centimeters.
8. Okay. If we know the diameter is 8, what's our radius?
4.
4.
Always
4.
divided by 2.
8 divided by 2. So listen, this is very important that you said that. She said divide by 2. So if they give you a fraction as the diameter, 2 3/4, 4 1/4, you have to understand to find the radius, you're just dividing by 2. That's what give people the issues, because on the GED, they're not going to give you the diameter is 8. They're going to give you the diameter is 2 3/4, 4 1/4, 6 3/4. You have to know, in order to find the radius, you have to divide by 2. Okay, so we got the diameter is 8. We got the radius is 4. What else is given from
Height
this
is
diagram?
The height 12.
The height is 12. Now, all we're going to do is plug in.
602.
Volume equal, what's pi?
3.14.
What is our radius?
4.
4. We need to square that.
4 square.
And what's our height?
12.
12. And then we just plug it in. We go grab our calculator.
602.88.
Hold on, let me do it now. So 3.14
602.
times 4 squared times 12.
1, 2.
Look at that. That's the volume.
Now, you had to round it off, right? To
Only
the
if
nearest
it's
10th. How would you do that again?
That, James, thank you. Listen with the two things they also ask you. They either ask you to round off to the nearest 10th, or they either ask you to round to the nearest whole number. So let's do both. That's a wonderful question, James, because you don't want to do all this hard work and can't round it off. So first of all, what I'm going to show you how to do is we're going to do it by hand. How to round off to the nearest 10th, and then how to round off to the nearest whole number. And then I'm going to show you how to round off using your calculator. Stop playing. Oh, now, so now if we want to round off to the nearest 10th, what digit, when we have 2 8s, is it the first 8 or the second 8 that's in the 10th place?
The first
the first 8.
The first 8. We look at the
Yeah.
number to the right. Is that 5 or above?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
above.
This
we have
8
to
becomes
add
the
one.
what?
9.
90.
A 9. So if we were rounding off to the nearest 10th, it would be 602.9.
Okay.
9 tenths.
Is this
Everybody
gonna be
understand that?
centimeters, is this gonna be centimeters, not square, but cube?
Cubed. Why? Because we remember 3 dimensions. So it'd either be centimeters cubed or cubic centimeters.
Okay.
Now, if we were rounding this off to the nearest whole number,
600.
what digit is in the ones place?
2.
It's 2.
The
It's
2.
2.
So we look at the number to the right. Is that 5 or above?
Above.
Sir.
That 2 becomes a what?
3.
3.
So 603 centimeters cubed or 603 cubic centimeters.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to do it in the calculator. Again, my biggest advice I could tell you, and I know we want to rush to pass this exam. The biggest advice I could tell you is take 2 weeks, go through the ebook. You don't even have to have a full understanding, just go through it. And then as you start doing those practice problems, you're gonna start picking up the use of this calculator. And then what's going to happen is that's going to add to your confidence. And once your confidence is built up, that's going to add to your self-esteem. You're going to start feeling better about math. Once you feel better about math, now you won't get scared when you go into that exam, because my tests are harder than the real GED. They're harder. Okay, now watch this. On the calculator, I'm going to show you how to round off. Okay, and again, I'm going to make sure I'm gonna maximize the screen and oops, didn't mean to do that. And then I must share the screen in a minute. Watch this. I'm gonna hit mode. Once I hit mode, I can tell my calculator to display a number in a certain way. How you do that is you go down to float. Hit your down arrows till you get down to float. If we want to round off to the 10th place, that's the first digit. Right? That's the first decimal place. So I'm gonna go to 1 and I'm gonna press enter. Watch this. I'm gonna hit second. I'm gonna hit mode to quit. I'm gonna press enter. 602.9. Round it off to the nearest 10. Now I'm gonna do the same thing. Watch this. I'm gonna round it off to the nearest whole number. Again, I'm not trying to. Chris, you said demystify math. I'm trying to make math because I want you to get your diploma. And I want you to get your diploma so you can go to college, so you can go to training, so you can have an accomplishment that you've been trying so hard for.
Yes, sir.
My whole goal is to help change your life. Watch this. I'm trying to give you the small tips to make your job easier. If you don't know sign numbers, go over that section on sign numbers. You won't have to know it. The calculator do everything for you. If you don't know how to round, use the calculator to round. You don't have to waste hours and hours and hours. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to hit mode again. This time I'm going to go down to float. If I want to round off to the nearest whole number, that's 0 decimal places. So I'm going to go over to the 0. I'm going to press enter. Then I'm going to hit second in mode to quit. I'm going to press enter. Round it off to the nearest whole number, 603.
Okay, I have a question for the float.
Yes.
0 is going to be the whole number. Now, is that 1 going to be the 10th place?
What's going to be the 2?
So is it going ones, tens, and thousands?
No, you better stop playing.
What?
It's
I mean,
tenths. It's tenths with a TH. It's hundredths with a TH. Remember, not tens, hundreds. It's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So if you pick on the number 0, that's the nearest whole number. If you press on the 1, that's the nearest tenth. If you press on the 2, that's the nearest hundredths place. If you go to 3, that's your thousandths place.
Okay, got it.
Now, this is what you have to remember once you're rounding off. You have to change it back to normal. So you have to change it back to float. So go back to mode, come down to float, press enter. So your number won't be continually rounded off over and over and over again the rest of your test. You don't want to continue rounding off. So you got to go back and put it on float. And then you'll go back to your original number.
And then what you do, hit second and quit?
Second in mode, yeah. Well, you hit mode, but quit is in green. So you hit second. Anything in green, you want to hit second first. So you want to quit. Then enter. Yep. So
I don't know why I always thought math print put us back on regular mode.
No. Math print is how it's displayed. How it's displayed. So when you see ND, it'll change. Let me try to get this in the screen first. So let me take a screenshot of that. Let me scroll down to where you to where we rounded off. So math print is how it looks on screen. So for example, let me show you what I mean. I don't even have that in my math book. I probably should, but I don't. So when you hit ND, see how you got N over D? Okay. Watch this mode. If I go to classic, right, and come out of that and hit ND, it's just division.
Oh, I see.
Well, I don't want it like that. I want you, that's why I tell you in the book, go to math print, put on math print, and keep it in math print. Why? Because the people are having problems with fractions. You don't need to have problems with fractions. Because why? 5 1/4 is what as a mixed number?
5 1/4, right?
5 1/4. I'm sorry, 5 1/4 is what as a mixed number? The calculator can do it for you. If I want to know 3/4 as a decimal.
But in the first 5 questions, we cannot use the calculator for fractions.
So that's why if you look at my ebook, I tell you the first 5. Know your squares, square roots, cube roots. Know how to put decimal fractions, percents in order. Know how to change. Now, what I'm saying is, you can change a mixed number to an improper fraction and an improper fraction to a mixed number. So while you're practicing, use the calculator. Once you know how to do it and you check it with the calculator, it's easy.
Right.
Okay? Because that first 5 is important. All right, let's try one more. Time is flying. The day went faster than any day that I've seen. So let's try one more. That's a good one right there. And this is for the class. Okay? Identify the shape, identify the formula, identify what's given, and I want you to send the volume to me in the chat. Identify the shape, identify your formulas, identify what's given, plug into your formula using your calculator, send me your volume in the chat. There was another young lady who passed, but she didn't come to GED Math Mondays. So, but again, oh, let me set the timer. Let me give you 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Now use your calculator. Most people make mistakes because they try to do this by hand. Identify your shape, identify your formula, identify your givens, plug into the calculator, get your answer. And with the screenshots in the video, I'm going to send this worksheet so you can practice all of them. Clock. Delete. 2 minutes.
Trying to share it with you. Why won't
No,
let
don't share it. Send it to me in the chat.
it won't let me hit the chat. Nothing happening. Let me see.
Press.
I hit the button on there. I got the answer, but I just chat. Come on, Jay. What's wrong? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Is that C4 1.6?
Okay, let's see. I got an answer. Let's see. Hold on for 1 second. Let me actually calculate it real quick. James, that is correct. That was my son calling.
Hayden, cool.
Latasha, you not here? Is Latasha here? Oh, see, this is another person that couldn't get in.
Yeah, I couldn't get in either. It's coming to me, but Mr. Tinsley won't let you sign in.
I don't know what's going on.
The second time I was able to get in.
Let me see if I put out this way.
Darn, this is the third person tonight who couldn't get in. It's the same link. All right, let me check my chat. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what you did. Let me see. What did we do here? Let's see. What did you do here? For Tia, I'm not sure what you did here. Oh, I see what you did. First of all, you
Volume equal 1/3.
your numbers are incorrect. Your numbers are incorrect.
I cannot write the numbers.
So go back in, use your calculator, identify what they're giving you.
Okay.
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 Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Mr. Tinsley, how you doing?
Doing well. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Well, I can't see
I
you, but glad to
know.
hear you. Glad to see your name. All right, so the timer did go off. Lakeisha, that is incorrect. Alex, that is
Okay. I'm gonna
incorrect.
see what I did wrong when you do it.
We're gonna do it now. What shape is this?
Cone.
Cone. What is the formula to find the volume of a cone?
1/3 multiplied by 3.14.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to put that in. Okay.
R square H.
This is what, listen, until you have this down, what I want you to do is identify the shape, and I want you to say the whole formula out, write it down. 1/3 pi r square h.
And you see we allowed to use the formula sheet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, what's given here?
The
radius.
The radius is what?
2.
It's 2.
What else do they give us?
The height, 10 feet.
The height is 10. Is that all we need to plug in? Yes.
Yes.
So what I saw a lot of people, the mistake they made is they were dividing the radius by 2. You can't remember, you can't try to remember what to do. You have to identify what's given. When you identify what's given, then you know what to plug into your formula. Now, this formula has radius in it. We already have our radius. So we're going to put V equal 1/3 parentheses, pi is 3.14. The radius is 2. So we're going to square the 2 and then multiply by the height, which is 10.
We divided the diameter, not the radius.
Right, right. Because the formula has the radius. Previously, when they gave us diameter, we had to divide by 2 because we had to find out what the radius was.
Yeah, half a bar.
And then we just grab our calculator. Let me clear this calculator.
62.8.
Hold on. Let me clear the calculator. And we're just going to plug it in exactly the way you see it. ND, 1/3.
So do we still have time to go over all the rest of these shapes?
No. I'm going to give them to you and you're going to practice.
Yeah, but I don't know which shapes is which. I know that's a cone. I know which one's a cylinder.
Okay. 3.14. Let me do this one first. 2 squared times 10. If you get in the habit of just identifying your formula, plugging everything in, you're going to be good.
Now, which one was the fear?
And what is this going to be called on the Schoology? For
Volume.
practice.
I'll show you.
Volume.
I'll show you.
Okay.
So first of all, let's go over the shape. So first of all, James said, let's make sure we know all the shapes. So I got all of them here. Let me decrease the zoom. Let's make sure we know all the shapes. So now you know. Okay, number 1 is what?
That's the
pyramid.
Pyramid. Number 2 is a what?
Cone.
Number 4 is a what?
Cylinder.
Cylinder. Number 6 is a what?
Rectangle.
A rectangular prism. A rectangle is 2 dimensions. A rectangular prism is 3 dimensions. Number 7 is what?
Number 7.
Cone. Number 8 is what?
A cube.
A cube or a rectangular prism.
Rectangular prism.
A cube is just a special rectangular prism, all sides are equal. Number 9 is what?
Pyramid.
Pyramid.
Number 1 is what?
A cylinder.
Cylinder. Number 5 is what?
A cone.
A cone. Number 1 is what?
Circle.
Nope.
A sphere.
A sphere.
So what makes that a sphere?
That's the name of it. There ain't nothing to make it. That's what it's called. So when you think of, for example, when you think of hemisphere, okay, a globe. That's why you got the 2 hemispheres on the planet Earth. So the globe, the shape of that 3-dimensional is a sphere.
Yeah.
So think of basketball, think of a globe, think of the Earth.
You need 3 dimensions.
Think of a ball, think of a marble. Anything shaped like that is a sphere.
Okay.
So I'm gonna send you both these worksheets.
Now, what's the right prism? What's the right prism?
You
A
can
right
Google
prism.
all this stuff.
Listen, don't even get caught up in a right prism is a rectangular prism.
Okay.
A right prism just means you got a right angle on a prism. Well, guess what a rectangular prism is? So for example, there are many different kinds of prisms. For example, I didn't want to go over this, but if you look at number 3, okay, this is a prism, but the base is a triangle. So it's a triangular prism.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay, you don't have to know that though, but I just wanted to explain that to you.
Okay.
So what I want you to be able to do is all these volume problems. I'm gonna send you these worksheets. You have the answers going to be included, so you don't have to wait.
Cool.
I'm gonna send you this so you practice volume. I'm gonna send you this so you can practice surface area and volume of a sphere. But the last thing I'm gonna send you is how to solve for the radius. Now I already gave it to you. If you go in the eBook, it's fine. But I'm gonna send you those 3. I want you to practice doing those formulas. Now, the last question was, do you have these? Where do you go on Schoology? Let me show you.
Now, I don't have access to that, do I, Mr. Tinsley?
I'll give it to you.
I have Khan Academy.
Khan Academy, I use CK12. So everything that I've signed for you in Khan Academy, you can do the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr.
Well, I still like to take a peek at it.
Hold on for 1 second. That's my son calling me like crazy, driving me crazy. Don't tell me I didn't start recording again. Okay, yes, I did. I was scared. Whew. All right, so let me share my screen.
So you think if I go into Schoology, Essentials, and Khan Academy, I'm doing?
No. Just stay with what you're working with. That's different.
Okay.
I'll talk to you at the class. So if you go into math lessons,
Right.
if you want to go into volume, think of your online practice Khan Academy, rectangular prism, cylinder, cone, sphere, word problems, pyramid, surface area.
Well, mine, I like that.
I know yours is a little different. Yours is a little different. I'll talk to you after class.
Okay.
Again, if you go to volume, you can use CK12. Either one. Rectangular prism, cylinder, cone, sphere, pyramids. Heights of cylinders given surface area volume. That's similar to what we did. But all of these are the practice. Whether you use Schoology, whether you use Khan Academy, whether you use the worksheets, or if you have your own book, the key thing I want you to do is be familiar with identifying from a word problem what shape, getting your formula, identifying what's given. Now, I'm not going to, I ain't even go over, and we'll do this next week because I got to, my son is calling me like crazy. He just sent me a text, he needs some help. But what I want to say is, if they give you the multiple choice, you don't even have to do any of this. All you got to do is plug them in. And I'm going to show you, that's the first thing I'm going to show you next week, is how if they give you multiple choice, how to plug them into the formula, how to plug the answers into the formula, and you get your answer just like that. So I want you to practice this week.
I don't see the homework we had last time. I don't see that in the Schoology.
What homework?
Where I can practice more on the, is it binomials, B-I-N-O-M-I-A-L-S?
Say that again.
It's spelled B-I-N-O.
Oh, binomial.
Binomial.
Yeah. Is that on there? I want to practice some more of those.
Yeah,
It
that's
is,
very
but I pulled that out specifically because I
Oh,
know that was
okay.
lesson. So binomials is actually under algebra.
Oh, okay. All right. All
So
right.
if you go into algebra, let me see, where is it? Khan Academy.
No meal.
So algebraic expressions, evaluating algebraic expressions, combining terms,
Okay.
distributive property. So those are under algebra.
Got it.
All right. Again, this is yours. It's free. Use as much as you can. Use as much as you want. When you do a quiz or you do an assignment on Schoology, give me like 24 hours. I try to get it back because they called me back to work, so I got to go in the office. So I won't be able to just, get those answers back to you as quickly as possible now. But usually it only takes me about at least a day, and I'll get those back to you. And I'll give you the feedback so you know what's right, what's wrong, and what you need to work on.
And what's the
Today
passing
is a very
score?
successful day. Well, what I consider a passing score is 80 or above.
Okay.
If you have 80 or above on those quizzes, you know that subject well enough that you can move on.
Okay.
Mr. Tisley, I want to say this to the class too. Please, everyone should get your calculator. If you don't have one, try and get one. The center I went to, they gave me a different calculator. If not, I came with mine. It would have been a mess. So please get your own calculator. And also, if you're going to a center, print out the formula sheet. If you're going to use the one on the screen, it's going to give you a lot of problem logging in and logging out. So I advise you to do that. I did that, and when I went to my center, they gave me a wrong calculator. I said, no, I'm not used to this calculator. I have my own. It's okay, you can use it. When I show it to them, they say, oh, you good.
Yes, listen to what this man is saying. So
And
this is one thing, listen to what he's saying. He said, first of all, you can bring your formula sheet. As long as nothing is written, it's not wrinkled, you can bring your own formula sheet. You can bring your calculator to the testing center. What happens is a lot of people have issues with trying to use the calculator on screen or trying to find a formula on screen. So what you do is you bring your own calculator, you bring your own formula sheet. So then you ask them, do you have a formula sheet and a calculator I can use? If they tell you no, you say, well, I have my own. If they have any question about that, they can call GED. You are allowed to bring your own calculator. You are allowed to bring your formula sheet. Don't let them tell you you can't. I was administrator for GED. I'm telling you, I know. You can bring your own calculator. You can bring your own formula sheet.
They won't tell you no. They just want to see it. Like rightly said, make sure the formula sheet, nothing is written on it, and make sure it's written right. Make sure it's printed from the GED site, like this one on this.
Exactly.
Then your calculator, make sure it's the same one that Mr. Tinsley using here. Then show it to them. They will accept it and go, because the calculator they gave me was a different calculator, and it would have messed me up if not I came with mine. So just take note of that. And also another advice, please make sure you look at the time when you are working, because if you look at the problems you don't know, just flag it. Do the ones you know, finish the ones you know, look at the time, then go back to the one you flag. And even if you don't have more time, just gaze on them.
Listen to what he said. He said, first of all, very important. I've been telling you this. Don't spend too much time on one problem. Okay? You rather finish the exam. So if you're having difficulty on a problem, pick an answer, flag it for review. So once you finish the exam, you'll come back to those problems. But most people fail because they don't finish the exam. So go through the exam, do the ones you know you can do. If you're having difficulty, you think it's going to take too long, skip it and flag it for review. That's one of the most important things, the advice that I can give you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you want to send me all the information, right? The worksheets and the video.
Yes, I'm going to send it all to your email, yes.
All right.
All right, y'all have a great night, man. Thanks, Mr. Taylor.
Everybody have a wonderful night. Listen,
Thank you. Thank you.
18 people tonight.
Oh, we getting,
Oh
we
my
getting
God.
big. We getting we growing up in the world.
Lakeisha, I think you are prepared for this exam. Go take it.
I'm not
That's
prepared.
No, don't wait. That was what I was waiting. Please Go try it.
My brother, thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
All right,
Everybody have a good
bye.
evening.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Mr. Tinsley.